Hello, students. This is Mr. Martiro, and we're continuing our conversation of the Industrial Revolution. In your Cornell note packet, you want to scroll on down. We've talked about some of these previous topics before. Today, we're going to take a look at why Great Britain took the lead in industrialization. We're going to examine some of the causes and effects of industrialization. We're going to talk a little bit about the sea drill, the flying shuttle and the spinning jenny, the cotton gin, and the steamboat and locomotive, and we're going to end with changes in transportation. So as I'm talking, you guys want to jot that information down in your notes. All right, so why did Great Britain take the lead in industrialization? So I'm going to talk for a little bit. I want you guys to kind of summarize what I'm saying in your notes. So first and foremost, we kind of talked about this slide in one of the other videos, but this is a map showing the British canal system. And these canals were revolutionary in terms of helping Britain take the lead. These canals were shallow trenches, but they were deep enough to get small before the steamships, small wooden boats from coalfield to coalfield. You can see Birmingham, Nottingham, Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, Bradford. These are all major industrial towns, and they're major industrial towns because they're sitting on top of these coal mines. So as coal is dug up and developed, these canals interconnect the different towns, and it allows them to flourish. What's going to be the next step in Britain taking the lead is going to be the infrastructure with regard to turnpikes and railroads. So this is a map in 1840 of Great Britain, showing you to the north, it's showing you Scotland, Ireland, and parts of Great Britain. So this is 1840, British railroads. There is one central railroad, as you can see, that connects Dublin with the Irish coast. There's one railroad that connects Edinburgh from coast to coast. Manchester, Birmingham, London, and Brighton are connected by one main rail line. But within 10 years, because of industrialization, you guys can see the pattern that's developed. And that is that these railroads have formed almost like a spiderweb around the city of London. London is kind of the center of the wheel. These are the spokes of the railway, and it connects London with Birmingham, Brighton, Manchester, and Edinburgh. Even if you take a look at Ireland, Ireland is vastly connected with the rest of its country. And again, the idea here is, why did Great Britain take the lead? Well, Great Britain had the right resources, the right materials, and enough people, laborers, to take the lead. It also was able to develop the infrastructure to move the goods around. What good is it to mine coal or to breed sheep if you can't transport it from place to place? So because of their ability to develop infrastructure within a series of 10 and 20 years, that really allowed Great Britain to take the lead in industrialization. All right, let's take a look. On the left side of the notes, there are causes, and on the right side are effects. So we know, why does Great Britain take the lead? Well, Great Britain takes the lead, like we said, because they have resources, because there is a population growth from the agricultural revolution. We said that during the age of exploration, there was an increased demand for goods from the Americas. Okay, another important one, and I would make sure you definitely put this one in your note, is that government-supported economic growth. We're now at a time period in the 1800s where the King of England and the Parliament are lessening the restrictions on government and individuals. Therefore, individual and free market and free enterprise is able to grow in Europe during this time period. Additionally, better textile inventions develop. And then finally, the development of factories. And because of the factory system, the economy is going to flourish in Great Britain. Okay, some of the effects of Great Britain taking the lead. Well, number one, there are more consumers than ever before. It is now transforming, the Industrial Revolution is transforming the British economy. Lower prices, and these two almost go hand in hand. Lower prices are going to mean more consumers. More people can afford their goods. There's also going to be an increased supply of goods. So if you put all three of these together, an increased supply of cheap goods is going to equal more consumers. which is going to yield higher demands for these goods. And higher demands is going to require goods get from point A to point B quickly and efficiently, which is going to cause a transportation revolution. And then ultimately, because of these changes, there is eventually going to be a total economic and social change throughout the culture of Great Britain, France, and Germany during this time period. All right. Photography. This is nothing that you need to get down, but this is just something kind of neat that I thought I'd introduce to you guys. So photography was developed in 1826. The first known photographer was a Frenchman, and this is an image he captured. This is the world's first known photograph. You can see it is quite grainy. Now, what is it? Well, you guys take a minute and think about what that photograph might be, what it might represent. But in fact, historians believe he was taking it in either the early morning or late afternoon, and he's standing on a rooftop. So what you're looking at here is this is the light areas are getting hit with light. So here's a rooftop here, this part here. This part here is also some sort of brick. And then you've got roof up here, another building. These two things are windows with another building silhouetted and maybe another building on the horizon. But what you're looking at is this is the first known photograph. Other inventions of this time, the seed drill. Okay, I think this is also in your notes. The seed drill, how the seed drill worked, invented by Jethro Tull, is that this part here cuts open almost like a pizza slicer. It kind of plows, opens up the ground, followed by this device here, which again further opens up the ground. And then this wheel causes the seeds to come down this chute, and the seeds fall into the ground. And then this piece here pushes the soil back over the dirt. So the idea with the seed drill is that it exponentially increases the productivity of a farmer. And if a farmer can be more productive and plant more seeds, he's going to have a little bit more free time. It's also going to increase his productivity. And in the springtime, when the crops grow, there's going to be a higher yield of crop, which is going to have a trickle-down theory of food supply. Here's our modern seed drill. Yeah, there's our farmer sitting on the back of the seed drill, and you can see as it's kind of tilling the soil, opening it up. Two other prominent inventions are the flying shuttle, invented by John Kay, and the spinning jenny, invented by James Hargreaves, 1733 and 1764, respectively. All right, and the idea here is that these are big, clunky, cumbersome inventions. And the idea is that these inventions were very important as a precursor for threading and weaving cotton together. So what would happen is someone would sit here and they would push, I don't know if you can see these foot pedals nicely, but the manufacturer, the worker would push the foot pedals, and it would cause these pieces of wood to move up and down, which in turn would then thread the cloth through this, rather than doing it by hand. Flying shuttle was pretty effective for about 30 years until the spinning jenny by James Hargreaves came in. And again, this operated with a hand crank, and this turned a series of levers and devices that pulled the yarn through and also made cloth. Finally, we have this invention. It is not a music box, but it is in fact the cotton gin. It was invented by Eli Whitney in 1793. So the cotton gin, how does it work? Well, what you would do is this part would close down, and you would thread cotton through. And this hand crank, you would turn it, and right here, a little bit grainy to see, but there are little spikes. And as you would turn this crank, it would pull the seeds out of the cotton. So lots of times, slaves or other cheap labor would pick out the seeds of the cotton, because obviously you can't thread raw cotton with seeds in machines because seeds would destroy it. So you need something to pick these cotton seeds out. So slaves did this, and cheap labor did this. But with the invention of the cotton gin in 1793, you can very quickly put cotton in this, crank it, turn it, pulled the seeds out, and the cotton is now ready to be shipped off. This is going to have some serious repercussions. Not only does it increase the quantity of cotton that's available, but it also is going to increase the demand for cotton, which in turn in the United States is going to increase the demand for slaves in southern states. So this invention, the cotton gin, an amazing invention, increases productivity, but at the same time, it may be a precursor to the American Civil War in the South. All right, I'm going to end there. Our next video will pick up with some of the changes in transportation. If you need to view any of the pictures again or hear my commentary again, please feel free to watch this video again.